Yeah. Yeah, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Profitable Driver NG. Tonight's session is one of the many, one of that many drivers that's, I've been asking for, and they've been asking questions as it comes to CNG, and it has become one thing that has been one of the, most of the live sessions I come on, we always find one thing to say or the other about it. My guest is already here with us, and I'm going to be inviting him shortly. But just before I do that, I will begin with a word of prayer in a very short one because it's a very important one this evening. Father, we thank you for starting this evening. We pray that you be with us in all that we shall do, and that you be with our speaker. And at the end of this session, we pray that we must have learned a lot that will help to inform our decision making as it pertains to CNG conversion. Bless us and keep us safe, for we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. So some drivers believe that CNG is the future, while some are already converting, some are considering it, and we are aware about the fact that some are even skeptical about it. It's going to blow on the move and all of that. Myself, I was, and I took time to actually decide on what exactly to do. So our goal tonight is not to convince anyone to convert. No, that's not it. But rather our goal is to help drivers to make informed decisions based on facts. That is why we have actually invited our experts to help answer whatever question we may have around the rumors. There are a lot of rumors out there. So it's only better. Angel, I greet you. Good evening. It's only better that we deal with all of this professionally. Babe, please, where's the remote for the AC? So please feel free to ask questions respectfully as the session progresses. I'll try as much as I can. Please, Mr. Jerry Ghana, please, you are going to work with me this evening. Please kindly, whatever questions people have, kindly please help note it somewhere. Then when it's time to answer questions, I can always call on you, note the name of the person who has the question, then we can work with that. Sorry, I didn't, inform you earlier about this. It was indeed a very busy day for me, and this live session was almost going to be, I'll have you as a moderator, Mr. Where is your name? Please let me find your name, Jerry Ghana. Jerry Ghana, you're working with me this evening as a moderator. Please kindly be ready to do one or two things. So guys, you are welcome to that session where we're going to be blowing myths, working together to hear a lot of things. So without wasting further time, because I want to do this as fast as possible, and I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to ask questions, and that would make me really happy if we're able to attend to all of those questions today. So my guest, I'm going to be bringing him up now shortly. So he's going to be on live session with me. Mr. CNG Evangelist, I just shared with you I just sent you an invite. Please kindly join with me on this session. Please, what's the prize? You can, yeah, please, Mr. Jerry Ghana, you see, Mr. Angel just asked the question. Kindly note those questions. Possibly, many of the questions you are going to be asking me would likely have been attended to, because I have series of questions myself here with me that I'm going to be asking our experts. And I pray to the Lord this evening that network will not do us bad in Jesus' name. If anyone is with me here, they should say amen. So you are going to do me a favor this evening. The favor you are going to do for me is that you please continue to tap on your screen and please keep sharing the live, so everyone will not come later and say they were not informed, and that some people have asked that I should record the session. So I'm going to do my best to do that. And his news King sound okay. I'm going to do my best to record that. Hopefully that's actually works out for me. So that's what we're going to do. I don't run come. Okay, you're welcome, guys. I can assure you of one thing: is going to be a really insightful evening. So our guest, CNG Evangelist, I know your father and mother gave you a name. So please kindly introduce yourself, your name, your company, your experience with CNG, and how long you've been involved in CNG conversion. I hope you had that, Mr. CNG Evangelist. Are you there with me, boss?
Yes, nice. Right here with you. Good evening, sir.
All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, I can.
Your company, your experience in CNG, and how long you've been involved in CNG conversion. Go ahead.
So, good evening. Right. Good evening, everyone. Okay, my name is Elijah Ehis Esezobo, right? I represent Innovative Technology Limited directly as the manager in Nigeria. Now, majorly, not so serious, but then, glory of God, been with 3 years, right? Around this space, practically speaking. So yeah, that's the beat for the introductory part. So yes, Mr. Please go ahead. Let us do it away.
All right, all right, all right. You're welcome, Mr. Elijah Ace. You're very welcome. Please, I want to be sure every one of us we are following and that you can hear us clearly. Please do me a favor, Mr. Jerry Ghana. Kindly relate to people that they should keep tapping on the screen and they should keep sharing the live. Show others that are not here with us and actually join in on the session. I think the sound in your area there is quite, there is some level of interference, Mr. CNG. Evangelist. Please, if you can, maybe you can adjust inside the car or something, please, so we can hear you clearly. God bless you, guys. Now,
Is it alright? Is it better now?
yep. It's better now. It's better now. So, thank you very much.
Alright, go
I
ahead.
want to
Alright,
advise
go ahead.
anyone who's here on this live session with us, please kindly do your best to get a good network. That way, you won't, have a lot of disturbance, and that way your network is going to be as sharp as it should. So you can actually hear us clearly. So for my first question here is this, Mr. Elijah. I'll be using Elijah. I hope that's fine. What exactly is CNG and why is it gaining popularity in Nigeria? There are a lot of people who have been talking about CNG, and we've had it from time to time. We have had, from time to time, people say, "Oh, it's the best, is this, is that." So I want to ask from the point of view of a professional now, what exactly is CNG? Just give us some brief introduction about CNG and why it's gaining this much popularity in Nigeria. In the north, I know there are a lot of people also there. So, what do you have to say about that? Please go ahead.
Alright, so quick. For the first part, CNG is an acronym for compressed natural gas, right? So unlike your cooking gas, which is LPG, that's liquefied petroleum gas. So now on the other hand, the reason why CNG has begun to gain momentum, is becoming widespread amongst specifically among transport workers, the likes of EA drivers, the likes of the commercial drivers, the everyday commercial drivers. But practically speaking, CNG has begun to gain strength strictly because, in quotes, because of the fuel economy. Of course, CNG is just another fuel like your diesel, your kerosene, right? Even your fuel, your normal petrol, CNG is also a fuel. But now, because of the economy, because using CNG, that is why CNG has now become, the go-to. So yes, CNG is the go-to because of the fuel economy. Yes.
Okay. So we have it there, guys. Basically, you're saying that the reason why CNG has become prevalent in our current, situation in the country has been because of the current economy, which has been biting hard. I believe that's one of the things I've had, a lot of people said from time to time. So why should e-hailing drivers actually pay attention to this? You know, After all, we still have a lot of people who still prefers to make use of their normal fuel. Why exactly do you think e-hailing drivers, the people I actually speak for from time to time, the people I try to educate from time to time, why do you think we should actually pay attention to this?
All right. So for me, the average e-hailing driver, even the average commercial driver specifically, let us center this conversation around, e-hailing drivers. Now, the e-hailing driver per se, a handful of them will only do themselves a disservice. You prepare to your finances, you do not consider switching to CNG. Why? Okay, so recently I saw a TikTok post. Right now, in the TikTok post, the creator the creator was arguing that the average Okada rider somewhere around Songo or in Ogun State is far better than the e-hailing driver, than the Uber driver, than the in-drive driver that is shuttling what's it called, to Aja, that is shuttling Idiroko to Ikoyi. In other words, you be unfair yourself as an e-driver if you do not consider switching to CNG. Yes.
Okay. So that leads me to the next question that is around savings. From what you have said here now, it's sounding like for an e-hailing driver, what they get is something around saving. Let me get to the next question. So many drivers actually have always wanted to know. From time to time, I've gotten this question, and many are actually, they have their own thoughts about this. Is CNG truly cheaper than petrol? That's one. Then, can you explain the savings driver can realistically expect? Let's say today I decide to convert. What do you think? Realistically, okay, before now I was making 12 kobo. Okay, now I can make 10 kobo. Can we put it to perspective what one can realistically expect after converting to CNG? Is it truly cheaper? And how cheap are we talking about?
All right, so for the first part, CNG is currently sold for 380 naira per SCM. SCM in this context simply means standard cubic meter, right? Now, on the other hand, the current price of petrol per liter is currently sold for around standard cubic meter.
Okay, go ahead. Cubic meter.
Standard cubic meter.
Okay, go ahead, please. Go on. I think you just had a call there. Maybe you can put your phone on DND. If you can hear me, Mr. Elijah.
Hello, did you get that part?
I know a call came in.
Did you get that part?
Came in just now. Yes, I did. Kindly put your phone on DND. That way, whenever calls comes in, it won't disturb the live you're on currently. Can you hear me? One of the Nigerian factors, I guess. Can you hear me, Mr. Elijah? Guys, if you are in the comment section, if you can still hear him, kindly let me know. I can't hear him currently on my side. All right.
It's better. Yeah, it's better now.
All right. You can go on, please.
All right. So I was saying, okay, like your LPG, when you go to buy cooking gas, what you get from even, of course, our local distributors, they will tell you how many kg do you want to buy, right? So unlike your LPG, for CNG, it is called SCM. Right, SCM means standard cubic meter. So just like I was saying the other time, for one standard cubic meter of gas, of course, of CNG, it is currently sold for 380 naira, compared to petrol currently selling for roughly around, say, 8,200 to 8,300 naira per liter. Right? In other words, the moment you start buying CNG, that means you start saving money automatically.
Okay. Are you with me? Mr. Elijah,
go ahead, sir, I'm
with
you.
Please, you were explaining something about the SCM. You were explaining something about the SCM, which is sales per cubic meter, right?
Standard cubic meter.
Standard cubic meter. Now, here's my question around that. Let's say, okay, don't worry. I think I'll get to that later. For the sake of time, I want to make sure I exhaust all the questions we have here. And at the same time, we know that we have some people that are joining in. Whatever question they have, I believe Mr. Jerigana is helping to take that down. Now, let me take us a little bit further. So, for an average, I asked the question about, can you explain the savings driver can realistically expect? Now, here is what I mean. For an average Bolt, Uber, or in-drive driver, how much can be saved? Is it per day, per month? How much do you think that one can save? Let's put it to perspective now.
All right, so practically speaking, for an average Uber driver, he's spending roughly around, say, at least, the very least is around 30 to 40,000 naira per day. I stand to be corrected, right? Now, fast forward to, that's on petrol, yes. So fast forward to when this same driver now converts to CNG, he would only have to spend around 9,000 naira to at most 11,000 naira per day. For convenience, I said for a regular e-hailing driver is doing 30 naira to 40,000 naira on petrol. When he now post conversion, he is now going to spend around 9,000 naira to 11,000 naira running that distance on CNG. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask a question around this before I get to the next one. And the question is that you have talked about the distance covered. They are saying that for a fuel of 30,000 naira to 40,000 naira, a 9 to 11,000 naira gas is going to cover the same distance. When we speak of this distance, can you give like an average of that distance? Is it 100 kilometer? Is it 150 kilometer? If you can't, at least give a form of distance, maybe from this location A to a particular location B. How can you place that? I think a lot of drivers who are here with me will be able to understand that even better. Okay, you can drive from Ikeja to mainland. To Maryland. Okay, this particular 9,000 naira gas will take you from Lagos to Abuja. We take you from Lagos to this. Can you find a way to present it from that point of view? You get my question, right?
All right, very well. All right, so very quick. For a regular 65 kg, that's the normal 65 liter cylinder, at least such a driver should be experiencing above 100 kilometer. And now to fill up the 65 liter cylinder, exactly. But now to fill up the 65 cylinder, at most, this person will be spending just around, say, 5,700 to 6,000 naira. Right? So for me, that's a win-win.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. And let me ask this question. I know, loosely ask it for now. How long does it typically take to recover the conversion costs? Even though I've not gotten to ask the question, let's say I decide today I have this particular money to convert. A lot of people have different. What I have seen is that a lot of people have different prices to conversion, and I think a lot of people can bear me witness. They have different prices, but I don't want us to go into prices now. Let's get to how exactly can one say that, okay, let's say I convert today. How long do you think it will take for me to recover the cost I used to convert? As a business person, of course, now who is into e-hailing. You get that
say
question,
plus
right?
or minus 3 months. Yeah, very well. Okay. Plus or minus 3 months. Such a person should recover his investment within 3 months. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Now, let's go now to the safety concerns. A lot of people have a lot of safety concerns. There is a matter of this thing while I'm on the move, it will blow. There is a situation of this thing can actually cause you, it can cause your, a lot of safety concern. The question I'm going to now is around safety now. One of the biggest fears drivers have is safety, and we can't blame a lot of people for that. Is it true that CNG powered vehicles can explode? Let me just break the question down once. Is it true?
All right, all right. So I would
Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, don't worry, Angel. I see that question. We get to it.
take my
There's
time
a reason
to,
I asked that question first. Elijah, we can't hear you
to
at all. The network seems to be breaking. Can anyone hear him on the side there? Elijah, the network is doing us some great deal of bad right now. Are you with me? Oh my God. Nigeria. Elijah, we can't hear you at all. Guys, please let's stay tuned. It seems the network is doing really bad. Let me drop him, then bring him back on. Are you back? Elijah, are you back?
that's is it better now?
Yeah, it's much better. It's much better.
Is it
I
better
can hear
now?
you now. Yes, I can hear you. Guys, please, can we hear our guest?
I,
If you
I,
can,
I don't
please
want to
type
give
yes. All right. Please, did you get the question?
I don't want to give these guys free advertisement. Yeah, I got your
Which
question.
guy is that? Okay, you can avoid mentioning names, please. Now, the question is this. How safe is CNG? You know, there are a lot of people that have said that it can explode while you're driving, right? And I want to make sure we are getting to the root of things. Is it true that CNG powered vehicles can explode?
All right, all right. Very, very valid question. In fact, this something not so many people intending to convert. I guess this is something they don't really pay attention to. So yes, I'm happy
Oh
asking
my.
this question. So very quick, I'll quickly take us back memory lane. Right,
All right.
what happened in Benin? The explosion that happened in Benin is because of the cylinder was locally fabricated.
Okay.
Ordinarily, a CNG cylinder cannot explode. Why? Because it is bulletproof. It is
Okay.
the reason why this thing is not manufactured locally in Nigeria as we speak. Every
Okay.
CNG cylinder you are seeing in the country, they were all imported. So there's nothing of such as what do you call it now? Explosion. It will never happen. In fact,
Mm.
fast forward the story to there was I guess a T4 bus somewhere around Lagos Ibadan Express Road. I guess the T4 bus, it got heated up, overheating and all that. Eventually, fast forward again to the bus was burned down. Mind you, this T4 bus was running on 265-liter CNG cylinder. Do you know what happened? Let
What's
me just
that?
quickly tell you. The cylinder was intact. All what was on the body of the cylinder was black fumes, right? The smoke and all that, but the cylinder itself was intact. Then the driver harvested the cylinder and also used it again on another bus. In other words, there's nothing such as explosion when it comes to CNG. Yes.
Okay. Let me ask this follow-up question. How safe is CNG, that's compressed natural gas now, compared to petrol?
To be
Because
very
I'm
fair,
asking
to
this
be
question
very fair,
because petrol is very much common. Vehicles that use petrol are very much common. So how safe is CNG compared to petrol?
all right, to be very fair, I will
Mm.
say it is 90% far safer than your petrol and your diesel put together.
How?
Thank you. CNG, when God forbid self, let me just even put it this way, God forbid, even if there was a
Okay.
leakage, what happens
Yeah.
is, because natural gas is lighter than air, immediately it disperses into the air. So even if you were driving and probably your cylinder was leaking, or maybe the technician did not connect the high pressure tube well to the cylinder, then of course there would be leakage. But in an event of a leakage, what happens is immediately the gas goes up above the air level. Why? Because it is lighter than air. In other words, there can never be any form of panic. Of course we are humans, yeah. The panic will be normal, it will be normal, but then you speak of the likes of say explosion, you speak of the likes of say immediate fire and all that. That will never happen when it comes to CNG, unlike your
Let me
petrol.
let me do it this way. I want to believe, anyways. I want to believe that there is nothing as something is completely safe. You know, I want to believe there is nothing like this thing is completely safe. Now, in a case, let's say we talk it because I'm very sure in the line of work I do, there's always what we call safety measures, right? Safety practices in the workspace. What are the safety precautions drivers should actually know when it comes to CNG conversion? We've heard that it is very much safe. We have heard that it cannot do us some level of bad. It is lighter than air. What are the safety precautions that one should at least keep in mind? Okay, let me keep this in mind. You have mentioned one earlier on that has to do with locally providing, fabricating the cylinder for the CNG. So, what are the things we should keep in mind as safety measures on our own part?
All right, so on the part of the drivers, what they should pay attention to is probably if they notice anything strange, like speak of the likes of maybe a leakage, right? So if they notice a leakage, what they should do is that they should contact their technician ASAP, right?
Okay.
They should contact their technician ASAP. Then the technician will help the driver to rectify ASAP also. So those are just the common issues or situation drivers notice post conversion. Yeah.
Okay. Now let me go to the vehicle performance now. The vehicle performance. It is generally known, or it is generally said by most people when it comes to conversion of vehicle to CNG. They say the car becomes more sluggish. You're unable to attain the highest speed you used to. Your car just have some issues with speed. How true is this? Even I've heard that some people say your car will not be able to go more than 80 kilometers per hour, like the highest speed it goes. How true is this?
All right.
Basically, I'm asking because conversion to CNG actually affects the the engine's performance.
Okay, let me just take it from your last question. Does CNG affect
Oh my
the
god.
lifespan of the engine? That is totally false. So let us come back. If you can hear me, I can hear you. Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you clearly. Go ahead, please. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So for your first question, when you speak of inefficiency, right? Now the
Yeah,
vehicle is
exactly.
sluggish. You also speak of rough idle, right? Now the major cause of rough idle, inefficiency, slow pickup, the major cause could be not just the CNG component, but just one coil can mess up the entire system. I'm saying this emphatically. Just one bad coil can mess up the entire system. Secondly, just two spark plugs can also mess up the performance of the engine on natural gas. And lastly, I will not also escape this part, right? Lastly, a calibration that was not properly done will also affect the engine's performance running on natural gas. I said three things. For the sake of time, I'll
Okay.
just quickly run through three of them again. First,
Please go again.
probably a faulty coil, right?
Coils, you talked
Then
about
two,
spark plug.
exactly, a bad and faulty spark plugs can also cause that. right? Then lastly, which most people also experience, is a poor or incomplete calibration. Yes.
Now, please permit me. Now, when you speak of these three things, does that not now mean that that means on a normal petrol car, the type of things that your petrol engine, when you're using petrol, can actually cope with, that may not happen on CNG. Is that what you're saying?
I like this angle you are taking this conversation to. Now, very quick. Petrol, our normal local PMS, it can cover issues. Even if one of your coil, probably, or even let me say about two of your coils out of four, even if they are bad, petrol can still cover and manage it. On the other hand,
Okay.
CNG will not, in quotes, it will not manage the situation. Rather, it will expose the situation and tell you, hey, Mr. Man, you have to fix me before I even pack up. I've
Hmm.
seen someone tell me, Evangelist, when I try to turn, my car will off, on gas. Meanwhile, on petrol, he's turning and, nothing is happening. Now, when I just changed one of the coil, he was fine, right? So,
Okay.
these are some of the issues you experience, when all these things are not checked. Yes.
Okay. Let me ask two questions before I then leave the before I go to my follow-up question like I have here. And I think you have already answered that one. Yeah, that's the question around can CNG damage a vehicle or reduce engine lifespan? You said that is emphatically not true. Now let me get to, so I don't bring you back. Let me get to some two questions from what you talked about just now. One, when you speak of bad calibration, what do you mean? Then two, when we speak about the coils, the spark plug, is there a specific type of coil or spark plug that is supposed to be used once one does conversion? Or is it the usual Tokumbo that we buy, or is there like a particular type that has to be used?
All right. So, for the sake of efficiency, we always recommend iridium spark plugs. I'll take that again.
Iridium.
For the sake of efficiency, we always recommend iridium spark plugs. Now, on the other hand, speaking of poor calibration, I've seen just a few, right? I've seen just a few technicians that they will tell you, in as much as the car is now moving on gas, then the customer is fine. But that's a lie, right? If the transmission on gas is not smooth, then that calibration for me is poor. As if that is not enough, if even the pickup on gas is not reasonable, then that calibration is also poor and incomplete, right? So now it falls back to the table of the technician to complete and ensure that calibration is perfected. Yes.
Now, based on, I don't want to assume, because fine, I'm a technician who is into laptop repairs. I want to assume when you speak of calibration, you are talking about what needs to be done in order to interface the new CNG conversion with the ECU of the vehicle. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
So I think that explains that particular. Now let me go to the part of the, there is a lot. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. That's why I'm also trying to speed this up. And you see already is 9:03, and time can really be very fast and hot. Now let's come to maintenance. What should drivers expect regarding maintenance after conversion? Because already these conversions are not cheap. Now, is it also going to be that maintenance also is going to be expensive and one has to be doing a lot? Because at some point there is going to be need for maintenance. Whatever it is you use over time would always require maintenance. So, what should the drivers who are into e-hailing, most especially, remember that e-hailing drivers are used on a daily basis. Some of us drive as high as 150 to 200 kilometer. What are the maintenance that is expected by someone who has converted?
All right. So post conversion, right? Even if you're out there, you want to do it, not the problem. But then post conversion, of course, after you convert, you should pay attention to your overall engine's performance, even while driving on gas, just the same way you would do while driving on petrol. Secondly, you should also pay attention to any leakage whatsoever. In other words, when you hear any strange sound like gas, please refer back to your technician. Okay, then
We can't hear anything. Are you with me, Mr. Elijah?
afford to change your gas
We lost
filter.
you. We lost you at the point where you said then.
Yes, I said then, probably once in 6 months.
Okay. Nigerian network is not nice to me this evening.
That's speaking within the context.
Please, I'm sorry.
That's
You will
speaking
have to
within the
go back to that
context
again.
of maintenance.
Once in 6 months. What did you say about once in 6 months? I'm sorry. We couldn't hear you.
I said once in 6 months. There are some persons who have to change their gas filter. It's not in every case, right? But probably if you have to, they will do it for you.
Now, is this cheap or is it expensive? And when we speak of cheap, please put it in in the perspective of how much it is in naira. If one were to do maintenance or all of these things, what's the highest you'd say anyone has come to maintain, and what's that like?
Normally maintenance is always affordable, to be very honest. In fact, as I speak to you, we are in what's it called? We are in conversation and we are in communication with a firm. Now this firm, they intend to do insurance even for what's called for CNG what's it called adopters, put it that way, so to speak. Right, so that will be rolling out down the line, and of course I will do well to update you accordingly for it to also update your community. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Let me ask this one last question as it pertains to maintenance, because you have not. I don't think I've asked that. How readily available are these, maintenance parts?
All right, so for the accessories, to be honest with you, I can hit my chest and say it is always available. Right, it is always available, so there's no.
Oh my God, I can't hear you again. Can everyone hear me? Okay, I think I got the part where you said it is always available, but then I lost you again.
Yeah, I said for the most part, it is always available. So there's no issue as to whether or not, the maintenance will not be able to take place.
Okay. Now let me guess to you. Since we are on honest, being very much honest, let's be completely honest about this, right? What are the disadvantages of converting to CNG? I'm sure somebody in this live stream want to know what are the disadvantages. Or, like what are the hidden realities drivers should know before we convert?
Okay, so for the first part, no, it's good we talk about all these things, right?
Yeah, please do.
So I will tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. For the first part, do not compromise, right? Secondly, another disadvantage that I will call a drawback is that the stations for refilling are not as abundant as our normal local filling stations for petrol. Right.
Okay.
Now on the last part, lastly, frankly speaking, another drawback will be that if you cheaping out, like if you outsource your project to probably an inexperienced technician, then of course regret will just be the consequence. Yes.
Okay. So now I have heard, and I think I should mention it. I have heard that when it comes to conversion, one of the biggest challenges is the fact that it becomes a permanent load on your vehicle. It takes spaces. How true is those things?
Yeah, it's not permanent. Why? Because all the accessories that have been retrofitted into your vehicle can be harvested. and I will give a quick case study. Now, probably you were driving a Lexus 300. So now, let's say 3 months down the line, or let me say a year later, you decide to upgrade to Lexus, let me say
Network
350.
is doing me some real bad this evening.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please go. Go on. Go.
Alright, so I said let me just quickly give a quick case study. Probably you were driving a Lexus 300, and now, of course, you have already done CNG on your Lexus 300. So now, let's say 1 year down the line, you intend to upgrade your Lexus 300 to 350. What we could do for you is that we can easily harvest all the components, right? All the components that we installed on the 300, we can now introduce it to your new car. In other words, it's still a win-win situation for you, right?
Okay. What about the case of being a load on the car,
Being
on the
like a
suspension
load.
of it?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the reason why inspection should not be compromised, right? Now, for a car that already have a bad shock absorber, then you have to go and fix that out first before you even consider converting your car. If not, you will just mess up that car.
Okay. Now, let's say someone had converted before they needed to change the shock absorbers. Is this something that can still be done after it has been converted?
Absolutely, it can be done post conversion. Yeah.
Now, let me ask two more questions before I now give the audience some few spaces for them to ask the questions they have. Probably many of the questions they have is still here with me, but I'm going to allow that after I ask this. Now, which vehicle would you advise against converting? What kind of car would you say should not convert?
All right, to be very honest, and based on my little experience, I would say for a fact that whenever someone have like a gasoline direct injection, it's called GDI. I speak of the likes of your Mercedes GLE, what's it called? I guess is it 550? You speak of the likes of a Hyundai Sonata. These are direct injection engine. What's a direct injection engine? Now the petrol goes straight into the combustion chamber, unlike your regular Corolla, your regular Honda and all that. These are port fuel injection. In other words, the petrol goes first into the gas, I beg your pardon, goes first into the intake manifold before it gets to the combustion chamber. Exactly. So we do not advise conversion for GDI. We do not advise that.
All right.
Yeah.
So for a GDI vehicle, one cannot advise for it to be converted. What other vehicle would you say one should not convert?
Specifically, I would say GDI, because eventually, even after converting GDI, of course, it can be converted for the sake of records. A GDI vehicle can be converted. On the other hand, the client has to know that the vehicle is also going to be using petrol to run.
It's going to be in form of mixture.
In other words, exactly. In other words, it could be using 60% of gas and 40% of petrol. GDI will never be 100% gas.
So that means that's like for the case of a diesel engine.
Exactly. A diesel is also dual fuel. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Audience. I'm sure we all have one or two questions to ask. But then, let me say, if you have converted, share your experience with us. If you are considering conversion, ask a question. If you have concerns, this is the best time to raise them. Mr. Jerry Ghana, please, I'll bring you up now. I'm sure you have done a beautiful job by writing down some questions. I trust you. Please, I'll bring you up now. You ask those questions so Mr. CNG, Mr. Elijah can give an answer to them. Thank you so much, Mr. Elijah, so far. We still have more questions, of course, but I need my moderator to please give one or two questions that we already have in the comments. We are going to get to that, Mr. Olari. Mr. Gerigana, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good
So
evening.
our first question is from Mr. Angel. So he was asking that what's the price to convert to CNG, and what are
We are
the
going to get to that. It's right here in my. I just want to make sure we finish all of the questions here that are very much important. I will get to that because price is important, but what is more important is to know what needs to be known before you even consider to convert. Remember, I said from the beginning of this live stream that this stream is not to convince you to convert, but rather to actually clarify every form of issues around CNG. A lot of rumors, a lot of myths. So when we get to that, we are definitely going to ask that question. Please stay tuned with us. Mr. Gerigana, please go to the next question.
The next question is from Mr. Charlie. He initially asked how much is a kg of CNG now?
Okay, Mr. Elijah, you can jump on that, please.
All right, so one SCM of CNG is currently sold for 380 naira, right? 380 naira per SCM. Yes.
All right. So Mr.
Now,
Charlie.
when you say 380, sorry, Mr. Gerigana, when you say SCM now, how many SCM makes a liter or makes a kg in the terms of, because we know it's 65 kg?
Okay, that's around. Okay, what we do is that we divide it by 4, right? So what we do now is when you say 65, just a quick one, very quick.
Yeah.
So when you say 65, when you say 65 divided by 4, that's around 16 thereabouts. So now you will now say 16 multiplied by the amount per SCM. Okay, so when you do 16 by 380, you are going to be having around 6,100 thereabouts, right? So that 65 liter cylinder, just around 6,000 plus, we fill it up. Yes.
Sorry, please, just for me to understand very well, because I know many others might also have one or two, please. What I'm saying is this. We call it 65 kg. Is 65 kg an equivalent of 65 liter? Let me begin from that.
No.
Thank you very much. Now, what is the total SCM? If it is not, then we cannot really go into liter now. That means I want to know, this is 380 naira per SCM. How many of that do we have in 65 kg?
All right. So like I said, yeah, I got your question. So like I said, to get the SCM value, what you do normally to attain that value is that you divide the cylinder water capacity. I mean, we've got 65 liter. Yeah, we've got 65 liter, we've got 75, we've got 30, we've even got 100, right? So now we are working with 65 liter water capacity. That's the water capacity. In other words, 65 liter of water can enter inside that cylinder, right?
Okay.
So now when you
that
divide, exactly. So when you divide 65 by 4, 4 is the constant, right? You divide it by 4 to get the amount of gas that can enter into
that one right away in the comments. Please let anyone help us with that calculation and drop it on the comments. Thank you. Go on.
Yeah, 65 divided by 4, right? Okay. So that should give us around 6,100 thereabouts. Right. Yeah. Okay. So now when you get that, no, what am I saying? 16 point something rather. That's around 16 thereabouts.
Now multiply that by the price per SCM, which is 380.
Exactly, which is 380. So now when you multiply 16 by 380, they are going to be having 6,000 plus there. I guess 61 or so thereabouts. Right. So that's how you arrive at that figure.
80, someone can help us that. 6,175. All right.
Exactly. All right. Makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So, guys, Mr. Gerigana, you can go on, please, with the question.
Okay, he has answered the question for Mr. Charlie.
For the next person.
His second question was, what are the sizes of cylinder we have and how many of that Pascom we
So
fill
you said we
at
have 30, we have
65.
65, we have 75, we have 100.
Okay. So Mr. Wealth asks that will a liter of petrol equivalent to a liter of Pascom?
I
And
think he answered that also.
yes, he answered that. So
All right,
Mr.
please go
Akombe
ahead.
asked that will a 75-liter cylinder cover 200 kilometers?
Okay, you can jump on that
Yes.
quickly. Okay.
Yes, it would.
Now, while we are on that, Mr. Elijah, I've had series of comments around pressure or no pressure. Can you please shed a little bit of light on that?
All right, that's a good one. That's a good one because there are some gas stations you drive into and you discover that their pressure is low. Right now, as a driver running on gas, what you could do is that you can check the bars. The bar is always around, excuse me, I beg your pardon. The bar
Okay.
of the gas pressure is always around the dispenser of the gas. Right, so when you go to a gas station, you can tell them you want to see the pressure gauge. Right, so the pressure gauge is going to show you, okay, in this gas station they have around 150 bar. 150 bar for me is still an average, it's just an average pressure. But there are some gas stations you go to, you are going to realize around 190 to 200 bar. In other words, your cylinder is going to be filled up. But anything below, say 190 or anything below 180, you cannot expect to have your cylinder filled up. So that's when you not hear, okay, the pressure is low, and all that. So that's the way you as a driver can know if a gas station have good pressure. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Gerigana, please go ahead. I'm just trying to pick
Okay.
questions from what you have picked so we can
Yes.
actually make
So
sure
most of the
we get.
questions that are here he has answered with his
Thank you very much.
explanation. But I want to ask, can
Go
it,
ahead.
because he is saying that your coils has to be okay, your spark plug and the rest, can a ringed engine still be converted for CNG?
Correct. Good question.
A
Please go
ring,
ahead, Mr.
yeah, valid, that's valid.
Some cars
A
are
ring,
doing it already.
Yes, a ringed
that's
engine.
very correct.
Yes. Please come
Go
again.
ahead, Mr.
Yeah, I got that question. What we do, yeah, I said a ringed engine. For the sake of records, I'm saying a ringed engine can also run on gas. What we do as best practice is that a diagnosis should be done. In other words, the inspection should also carry a scan. Now we do free scanning for all our customers. In other words, if we discover along the scanning period, if we discover probably 2 of your coils are bad, we will tell you, would give you a report of your performance at the moment before conversion. If it's something you have to quickly fix and come back, we will tell you. It is our responsibility to tell you what you have to fix before you now introduce CNG into your engine. Yes.
Okay. Now, I think I want to go to the question everyone has been asking me that they have been asking. I can see it in the comments. And the reason I have chosen not to answer not to ask the question since is not because I'm trying to avoid or avert the question. I've been trying to avoid it so as for us to, like I said from the beginning, this is not to say you must convert. This is to make sure we clear out, we actually understand all of the myths now around CNG before you go to it. And before I ask that question, is there any other question that have not been answered by our guests this evening that you would want to know? You can drop it there. Now, while he's on this, let me get to the question. Now, Mr. Elijah, I think you have gone to the home and we cannot hear you once you go home. You have to be on the TikTok screen before we can hear you. I see you've paused the live session. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome. Now, my question is this. Now, let's address the questions many drivers have been waiting for. If you are an e-hailing driver and you are here to follow us, please follow. Mr. Gerigana ask these people to follow us so others can see. And please remember to tell them to actually join the group on our Telegram and WhatsApp, because that's where we are going to be harvesting any other person who has one or two things to do that has to do with CNG. That's where the information goes to first. Always. That's where it goes to. So the big question everyone has been waiting for, Mr. Elijah, is how much does it actually cost to convert to CNG today?
All right. So for the most part, I can categorically state that the price is not actually fixed, right? But what we have done because of this collaboration is that we have made it in such a way that members from your community can access probably like an incentive. So now, instead of the regular 800,000, instead of the regular 780 minimum, we have decided to say, okay, fine, for members of your community, we can offer them to do 740,000 as against 780 or 800,000. To go for 780 with the advanced kit. Yes.
Now, when you say the advanced kits, what are the things that comes with the advanced kits?
So the advanced kits majorly, even while driving, your car is learning, right? The brain box is learning, based and is just learning and adjusting based on the current performance of your engine, right? In other words, it's suiting itself to match your current engine's performance. That's why we call it, the intelligent and advanced kit. Yes.
Now, I think someone is asking, what is for what size of cylinder is the 740 you spoke about?
65.
That's for 65 kg. I'm sure somebody would
Correct.
want to know what's the cost for a 75 kg.
We could offer you that based on the current market rate, right? We do not have 75 kg, we have 65 and 100, right? But we could source for 75 and offer, such a customer that is specific about, doing 75 kg.
Okay, I think maybe that's when we can always have a talk about it. But in any case, it has to be in a rate that would be way better than what would be experienced out there. Now, I think I should ask. It just popped into my head. Now, for someone who is doing a 75 kg or 65 kg, what exactly are the things that it covers? That payment, what are the things it covers?
All right, so it covers the intelligent kit, it covers the cylinder, and it also covers our workmanship. Now, the icing on the cake is that we would offer priority support for members of your community. In other words, whenever they need any technical assistance, they can always reach out to us and we would be happy to support them. Yes.
Okay. We really appreciate that on this part. And now I think I need to get to the other question. Which is that what factors, I think I've asked that already. What are the factors that determine the cost? Now, I know a lot of people are here and they are looking to hear this. I know things are very much expensive in the country, and some people will be looking at, is there a form of financing, installment options, and all of that. About that, if anyone
Engineer,
has
please
a
a
question.
quick one. Engineer, please a quick one, please.
Right.
All right, so Woodblock Studio just asked a very, very valid question. Now, Woodblock Studio said, or he is asking, now he said, also, in case one runs out of CNG in transit, can the fuel kick in without affecting the engine? I love this question.
Correct. Good question.
Right.
Please go ahead.
Now, in this situation, what will happen when you run out of gas, even while driving on gas, is that automatically it goes back to petrol even without you knowing, right?
Okay.
Right. In some cases, you just have to press the switch, but in some cases, it just goes back to petrol without your intervention. So that's a valid question. Thanks for asking, Wood Block Studio. Thank you. Please go ahead,
All right. I
engineer.
think I see someone saying user 939. The person does not have a name. 740 for 65 is excessive. I didn't mind 75 liter. Please ask a question. Is it 740K for type 2 cylinder? Now, what's type 2? Oh, very correct. Good question. We have type 2, we have type 1 cylinder. What's the difference mainly first? Then maybe you can attend to what.
All right. Let me just quickly attend to him very quick. He said he did his 75 liter for 730. My brother, right now, I can hit my chest and argue with you. This is not possible. See, it is only in Nigeria that something will go up, and for it to come down becomes a challenge. Right now, this is not even realistic. I mean, I've got seniors doing 65 liter for 800,000, and they're not begging anybody.
Mr.
Right. Now,
Elijah, can you hear
sir?
me? All right, go on.
Yeah, loud and clear. So now for the type 2 cylinder is made of fiber, right? It's the same quality Dangote is using. Type 2 cylinder doesn't mean it is stronger, or safer. No. The steel cylinder, which is type 1, is also rugged and safe, made of rugged steel, right? Only that the type 2 cylinder, normally, it is lighter, right? It is lighter than the type 1 cylinder. Yes.
Okay. All right. I think that explains it. And for the man who says there is a user, I know someone who did 65 liter for 650. Well, like I said earlier on, and that's exactly, these are the reasons why I avoided and averted questions around what is the price. And from what you have said today, I've seen prices. I've even had some people say they did theirs for 550. Now, one thing I've seen about it is the prices of these things are not the same. And I've seen some people that even proposed to me in my DM, but when I engaged them, asked some regular questions, they couldn't give me exactly what I need. But today is not even for come and sell CNG or buy CNG. Today is for getting the knowledge about CNG to give you a form of informed decision making, right? To help you to then decide, okay, this is fine, to do or not. So this live session is not to come and argue or discuss what price. Whatever price works for anyone, wherever it works for, they can always go there to do. And that's why I averted questions around prices or not. So this is not me saying so anyone must go through CNG Evangelist, that's Mr. Elijah. But rather, this live session is not centered on that. Remember, we have come here to enlighten one another. However, if you did want to, you can definitely reach out. I think that answers the question of that Mr. I'm trying to get the name. This live session, they are trying to cancel it. So, Mr. Jerigana, do you have any further question on that side?
2 more questions. So let me just ask the 2 together. First is, do we still need to change oils like the same way we do with petrol? Do we still need to do all of those things we do on petrol, like your steering pump and the rest, gear, engine oil and the rest? Then the second question is, how do you determine what particular liter should a car take, judging by the shock absorber? Like, should a big daddy now, can it take 100 liter compared to a Jeep or a Lexus or something like that? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Elijah, did you get that? Please jump on that.
All right. So for the first question, I would say post-conversion, right? The driver can always, do his normal repairs, be it mechanical or electrical. In other words, if your mechanic wants to work on your car, he can go ahead and do his work even after conversion. If your local rewire wants to work on your car, probably you have an electrical issue, the local rewire can go ahead and do his work even post-conversion. Now, secondly, for your second question, best practice, we do not advise a normal car to use 2 bottles of cylinder, right? A normal car maximum should use at most 100 liter, right? Now, for a Jeep, I've seen a Jeep using 365 liters, although it is not wise. Normally, a Jeep should not go beyond 2 big cylinders. I mean, we've done a Lexus 330 with 275 liter, right? So, like I said, for a normal car, they should not go beyond 100 liter, right? Why for Jeep and all that, 2 bottles will be just fine. Yes.
Okay. When you say 2 bottles, do you mean the cylinder gas? I mean the cylinder.
Yes, I mean the bottles. Yeah, the cylinder bottles. Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So I think it's time we, if there is any other question in the comment section, please, Mister, what's it called? Mr. Jerry Ghana, kindly get to it in the what's it called in the comment section.
So somebody said he's currently using a 65-liter cylinder. That can he change or can he swap to a 100-liter cylinder?
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
All right, so
Elijah.
that's upgrading, right? That's upgrading. Now he has it already. He has a 65 liter, but he wants to upgrade to 100 liter. It is possible, but that is dependent on availability. I'll take that again for the sake of emphasis. For anyone who have a 65 liter cylinder and probably down the line he wants to upgrade, such a person will drop his 65 liter, then add the balance of the current rate of the cylinder he or she wants to upgrade to, depending on the cylinder's availability. Yes.
Okay. Because before this live session, myself and Mr. Elijah had a conversation around trying to see how we round it off soonest because he needed to still go from his location back home. He's still at his office now and he's looking to still go back home. The rain could not make him move. But I think there's an important question someone is asking here. Is the price for V4 the same as V6?
No, it is not the same.
So what's the marginal difference?
Majorly for things relating to pricing, I'll refer them back to you, engineer. Let them come back to you as regards pricing. Yes.
All right, no problem. No problem. All right, but the best question, okay, can someone pay installment? I think I asked the same question and it's still here. Are there financing on installment options available? All right, I think I should jump on that because Mr. Elijah has already told me that
Exactly. Go ahead.
because of the experience they have had around installments, while some people pay, some people just go, they never come back. They at the moment have altered, stopped everything that has to do with installments, and that's the reason why I failed to ask that question again. However, on my part, we are all myself and my team, we are working around another company that will help with installments, but in their case, they are looking at helping to with an half payment. But in any case, if anyone has any question and need to reach CNG Evangelist, reach out to me in my DM, or better still, don't bother to reach out to me in the DM. You can just go to WhatsApp, join the group on WhatsApp, drop your questions around CNG. You can also enter my DM on WhatsApp, not on this TikTok. So we don't flood the TikTok, and there are a lot of questions there that I really have the time to really ask. And I think it's good. Okay, I can see a question. What's cons of converting a Camry 07 to use engine? How long before the engine gets bad? I think these questions have already been answered. Every myth around a engine will go bad as of today has been answered. It says there's nothing like engine goes bad because the car gets converted? That has been answered, and I think we have got to that. We are now having repeated questions, and I think it's good we conclude at this stage. Now, please, let me put a disclaimer out there as of this moment. Please, this live session is mainly educative, to have you educated around CNG conversion. Please, anyone you meet on this chat or anyone you have met here to talk to in a private chat, I beg of you in the name of God. It has nothing to do with Engineer Timaj or Profitable Driver Engine community. The person we brought on the live session today basically was to come, break whatever myth that is around CNG. And I repeat again, we have not come with the person for you to come and enforce the person on you that it must be done. Please note, it has basically just to keep you abreasted of the information that you need to know about conversion, because there has been a lot of news going around as it has to do with conversion. However, if you must come to do one or two with him as an expert in their own line, reach out to me. I'll know how have you connected. That way, whatever arrangements we have made around cutting down prices for those that comes through the community, you get that. But of course, I repeat, you can always go ahead and have your car converted with the information you have gotten from this live session today at anywhere that you please. But please note, I, Engineer Timaj, or Profitable Driver NG and team will not be responsible for whatever it is that goes on that side, because we can't cover for what we don't know about. I think the message is well gotten. Thank you so very much, Mr. Elijah Ezeo Sobo. I almost ruined your name when I was making a short video to inform people about the live stream. I think you should help me with how to pronounce that correctly. Okay, that's Mr. Elijah Hayes that has been attending to our questions since. He has had to sacrifice a lot of things. I know he's been busy at their workspace since morning, but because we have had this arrangement to happen here today, he had to keep a lot of things off to join us this evening. And I think it is only okay and it is only fine for me to have him, to free him at this time so I don't delay him. So thank you to everyone who has participated to ask questions, comments this evening. Please remember, don't convert because everyone is talking about CNG. Convert because you understand CNG. So you were saying something, Mr. Gerigana.
Yes, I was asking, is there fiber cylinder available at your office, Mr.
Correct. Okay, Mr. Elijah, please jump on that.
All right, we still have a few bottles of fiber cylinders, so that's not the problem. We still have a few bottles of fiber cylinders. We have 85 and 100 liter.
I will reach out to Mr. Timaj.
All right, no problem. It's all right.
All right.
Thanks a lot for your time, everyone.
Is there any closing remark you have to have, Mr. Elijah? You can go ahead and do that if there's anything you would have to like to say.
All right. So for the most part, I will just encourage. At best, I will encourage just about every other person who is still sitting on the fence. Now, I'm not selling on anything, right? I'm just telling you to do yourself a favor. Do not be unfair to yourself, right? You can channel your savings to another budget instead of dashing our local filling stations, every other day. Instead of dashing them thousands of naira, you can channel that budget, to something else, because CNG is the future. Thanks for your time. I'm very grateful, for spending this time with everyone. Thanks, my senior engineer.
All right.
The boy is loyal.
All right, boss. Please do have a very good night, boss. I think at this point, let me free you. And guys, to wrap on this session this evening, let me take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to everyone that has joined in and to everyone that has been on this live session with me. And I think it's important that I state this again, that you should only convert your car to be on CNG provided that you are convinced that it is okay for a vehicle. Now, I think it's only fair. I can see Mr. Single Flex saying, leave CNG, now why, blah, blah, blah. It is fine that you always have something to say against a particular thing, but it is only fair that you do your due diligence. You don't want to enforce things on people and this session is not to enforce it on anyone. So please, whatever information we have gotten here this evening, let's do as we please with it in our own way, because this session is all for us. Thank you so much for joining this evening, and it's been a pleasure hosting you on this session this evening. Until another time that we come on live again, guys, please, let's all drive safe, let's drive to gain, and let's be a profitable driver the best way we can. Have a good night, everyone. Mr. Jerry Ghana, I really appreciate you for joining with me this night. And as always, I always like to call the attendance of people that have been on live with us. But this number is quite much. But I'll try to, run through the numbers currently. We have Jerry Ghana here. Thank you for joining in. CEO Luzgard, you're welcome. Wealthy One, you're welcome. Single E-Flex, I see you. Woodblock Studio, I see you. Meet Dio, wow. I'm sorry if I murdered that. CNG Evangelist, once again, I say very big thank you to you. Mr. Cardio, I hail. Usman Ahmed, I hail. Tipsy, I hail you. Dahoud Omotosho, I hail you. 63 Bexy, I hail you as well. FOP 71 kg, I see you. Eddie Nice, Polage, maybe Wale, Oluwa Feromi, Bami, Mr. Legend, Soso, Ababi, Alabirada, King Ned, Olushola, I am Oluwa Kenzie, Tai, Faye, Charles, and Shozi. Thank you all for joining in. Until another time, I remain Engineer Timaj, the founder of Profitable Driver NG, your favorite, e-hailing advocator and educator. I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. Have a good night. Mr. Jerry Ghana, have a good night.
Good night, sir.
I've done well by making sure I'm on live this evening. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.